talk to me.
I open the pages, they talk to me.
Come on now, bro, walk for me.
Urban Gorilla, that sauce on me.
Yeah, I was shy, pay the cost on me.
He the boss man, he got up on that cross for me.
He the boss man, he got up on the cross for me.
He the boss man, he got up on that cross.
Yeah.
I open the pages, they talk to me.
Come on now, bro, walk for me.
Urban Gorilla, that sauce on me.
Yeah, I was shy, pay the cost on me.
He the boss man, he got up on that cross.
Let me show you the difference between it's two types of like Gentiles. Like in the Old Testament when it was first mentioned, it's the word goy, which can mean another nation, or it can mean talking about the Israelites. So depending on the context of what the Gentile will be. Sometimes the Gentile can be talking about another nation, or sometimes the Gentile can be talking about Israelites that totally assimilated into another culture. Just like now we Americans. Yeah. So back then they'd be like, no, neither Jew nor American. Yeah. Basically just us that assimilated to another like whole type of culture and not come taking on our lineage, like being degenerates. Let me show you. Give me John 7 and 35. Yeah. And you give me I think Matthew 12 and 8. So then 12 and 8 give me go. Okay, watch this. Let me show you the context. The two different Gentiles. Watch this. Go ahead.
This is the book of St. John, chapter 7 and verse 35.
Go ahead.
Then said the Jews among themselves.
Then said the Jews amongst themselves. Go ahead.
Whither will he go, that we shall not find him?
They said, whither will he go, where we should not find him? They talking about Yahweh Shah, who's the word called Christ. They're like, where he about to go when we can't find him? Let me show you where they say he going. Go ahead.
Will he go unto the dispersed?
Will he go into the dispersed? You know who the dispersed is?
The Israelites are separated, right?
They're scattered abroad. They take it in James 1 and 1. Go to the dispersed. Go ahead.
Among the Gentiles.
Amongst the Gentiles. Go ahead.
And teach the Gentiles.
And teach the Gentiles. So they let you know it's calling that dispersed Gentiles. So they let you know in that context, that Gentile talking about an Israelite that it went into a whole different nation by being around the other nations. Like we didn't totally assimilated into American culture before we knew who we were. And let me show you a difference between other Gentiles. Matthew 12 and 8. So what they say? Judgment on the Gentiles.
And what verse was that?
That's John 7:35.
7:35.
7:35. Judgment on the Gentiles. There's Matthew 12 and 18.
It's all good. The book of Matthew chapter 12 and verse 18.
Watch this, go ahead.
Behold my servant.
Behold my servant, who the world called Christ, go ahead.
Whom I have chosen.
Go ahead.
My beloved.
Beloved, read on.
In whom my soul is well pleased.
Well pleased, read on.
I will put my spirit upon him.
Go ahead.
And he shall shew judgment.
He shall what?
Show judgment.
Go ahead.
To the Gentiles.
Go ahead.
He shall not strive nor cry. Neither shall any man hear his voice in the streets.
So that judgment on that Gentile right there, that's talking about a heathen nation. So anytime you go in the so-called New Testament and you see Gentile, if it's talking about salvation, that's talking about the Israelites that were scattered abroad, that weren't keeping customs of modern Judea. And then when you see Gentile and it's talking about a judgment going into slavery and doing this, they're gonna serve us, it's talking about other nations. So it depending on the context what Gentile can mean. But it comes from the Hebrew word goy, which just means nation. It was only mentioned in Genesis. You got a sense? Oh, okay. So yeah, that's the difference between Gentile and oh, give me Romans 9. Watch this, let me show you something. You give me Hosea 1 and 10. 9:23. Start at 21. Alright, watch this.
This is the book of Romans, chapter 9 and verse 24.
Go ahead.
Even us, whom he had called, not of the Jews only.
Not of the Jews only. Go ahead.
But also of the Gentiles.
But also of the Gentiles. So most people take that like, oh, see, it ain't just for the Israelites, it ain't just for the Jews, it's for the Gentiles. But watch what these Gentiles talking about. Keep going.
Verse 25. As he said also in OC.
As he said OC, that's the Greek way to say Hosea. So that's a prophet that was in the, what would you call the so-called Old Testament. Paul finna quote a prophecy from the book of Hosea. Go ahead.
I will call them my people.
I will call them my people. Go ahead.
Which were not my people.
Which were not my people. Go ahead.
And her beloved, which was not beloved.
Which was not beloved. So most people take that like, see, he calling the Gentiles his people. He calling them his people now. Now the Gentiles can come in. So let's go to Hosea and show you what he quoted right there. Let's see who this, the context of this talking about. Watch this. Hosea 1 verse 10. Verse 10. Watch this.
The book of Hosea chapter 1 and verse 10. Yet the number of the children of Israel shall be as the sand
See,
of the
the
sea,
number of the children of Israel, that's the context. The children of Israel, go ahead.
which cannot be measured nor numbered. And it shall come to pass.
And it shall come to pass, which means this prophecy that Apostle Paul talking about is this prophecy right here, which is pertaining to the Israelites, go ahead.
That in the place where it was said unto them,
It was said unto them, go ahead,
ye are not my people,
ye are not my people. So when they was over there doing what the Romans was doing, the Jews in Judea was looking down on them like, man, them ain't Israelites. And look what them niggas doing. Kind of like people now when we come in the truth sometimes, they'll look down on Jake in the word. Like, man, like say Jake come out and listen to Moneybag Yo, they be like, man, look at them. They need to be keeping the commandments. But you can't look down on them just because they don't know the truth. So that's what was going on back then. Just because they didn't grow up knowing they was the Israelites, Jews that grew up knowing they was Israelites, they would look down on the other Israelites that didn't know they was Israelites. You know what I'm saying? Keep going, man.
it shall be said, so look, ye are not my people, there shall be said unto them, ye are the sons of the living God.
Yeah, ye are the sons of the living God. So now he telling these Israelites that was being called Gentiles now, that y'all the children of the living God. So he quoting the prophecy from the book of Hosea. Keep going on a little bit. Watch it.
This is Romans 9:26.
Go ahead.
And it shall come to pass.
And it shall come to pass, just like what he said in Hosea. Go ahead.
That in that place
Go ahead.
where it was said unto them, ye are not my people.
Ye are not my people. So these just like now. What they tell us, man, y'all niggas, man, y'all spits. Y'all ain't the people of God. Y'all ain't no real Israelites. Just like now, go ahead.
There shall they be called the children of the living God.
There shall we be called the children of the living God. And that's happening right now too. Now we waking up to who we really know, because before we do this, we was Gentiles too. Give me 1 Peter 4:3. You can start in verse 2.
The book of 1 Peter, chapter 1,
4.
oh sorry, that's a lot. 1 and verse, I'm sorry, 4 and verse 2. 2 for time pass.
Yeah. Verse 3. Watch this.
Now, the book of 1 Peter, chapter 4 and verse 3. For the time past of our life,
Yeah, for the time past of our life, go ahead.
may suffice us to have,
Keep going.
may suffice us to have wrought the will of the Gentiles.
Walk the will of the Gentiles. So before we came in the truth, we was doing what Gentiles was doing. Let me show you what it is. What that is. Go ahead.
When we walked in lasciviousness,
Walked in lasciviousness, go ahead. Lust, go ahead.
excess of wine,
Excess of wine, go ahead.
revelings,
Reveling, partying, not putting the Lord first and just doing what we want to do. Like setting our heart upon the world, you know what I'm saying? And not setting our riches in heaven, go ahead.
and banqueting,
And banquetings, go ahead.
and abominable idolatries.
Idolatries. Basically, we was all into idolatry before we came into truth, because we was doing everything but worshiping the Heavenly Father in spirit and in truth. But now, since who the world called Christ came, now us as being what we was, so-called Gentiles, before we knew we was Israelites, but we always was Israelites, but we was just in that mindset. Now we coming back to the Lord and serving Him the right way. So it's two types of Gentiles. Let me give you another example of the Gentiles that's not going to make it. Give me Revelation 11 and 1. Let me show you that there's a difference between Gentiles.
The book of Revelation, chapter 11, verse 1.
Watch this, go ahead.
And there was given me a reed like unto a rod.
Like unto a rod, go ahead.
And the angel stood saying, rise and measure the temple of the Most High.
Rise and measure the temple of the Most High. You got to measure the temple of the Most High, go ahead.
And the altar and them that worship therein.
And them that worship therein. So this altar they looking at, everybody that can come in, they can worship therein. Them the Israelites, they can come in the altar, go ahead.
But the court,
But the court, go ahead.
which is without the temple,
That's without the temple, read on.
leave out
Leave out, read on.
and measure it not.
And measure it not. So this the other part he talking about, he said leave it out, don't measure it not. Go ahead.
For it is given unto the
He's
Gentiles,
giving it to who?
the Gentiles,
Gentiles, go ahead.
and the holy city shall they tread underfoot 40 and 2 months.
40 and 2 months. So basically the outer courts of the temple, that's where the Gentiles gonna be. They can't come into the inner courts of the temple. So they let you know that Gentile right there can't be talking about an Israelite, because the Israelite can come in the altar. So it's just, depending on the context, that's what a Gentile means. But when you go back into the Hebrew word when it was first mentioned, Matter of fact, go to that in Genesis 12. Let me show you the blue letter. Yeah, blue letter. Go to Genesis 12. I got it.
That is just a little neighborhood. I know geography like that. Yeah, what I feel.
Oh, really? Got me. 12 and 2. Go to it. Go over again there. I got it. All right. Right there.
So this is Strong H1471 Goy or Goyam, meaning nation,
Nation, go ahead.
people,
Go ahead.
usually of non-Hebrew people.
Usually a non-Hebrew people, but it still can refer to Israelites as Gentiles. Because we just showed you that in John 7:35 and in Romans 9. Go keep going, go ahead.
The next one is of descendants of Abraham,
Of descendants of Abraham, go ahead.
of Israel.
Of Israel, so it can be used for both. Both of them it's like both of them replaceable you can use. So in that context, so it's just depending on the context of what it means. You know what I'm saying?
Okay. Another question. So I understand you guys talking about like slavery and stuff like that, how Caucasians are going to slavery and stuff like that. Okay, so my question is, where's the aspect of hell then?
The aspect of hell, like, okay, give me the hell, like
Cause I've been raised in like the indoctrinated church, so I mean, you know, they talk about hell. They're not going to talk about slavery and all that other stuff. Okay. So we understand as Israelite people, okay, you know, they're going into slavery, such and such, and then we got the elect, correct?
Yeah.
144K. Okay, so then what's hell for them?
What's hell? Okay, give me Revelation 2. So it's two different, like hell, it depending on the definition too. Hell can mean the grave, and hell can mean the second death, or hell can mean affliction. So let me show you the context of it. Give me Isaiah first. Isaiah 5 and 13. And I'm going to show you what it gets. Give me Romans 12 and Revelation 2.
And cast into the fire, death and hell. 13.
Where you at?
You said Isaiah 5.
You can start at 2. All right. Watch this. Let me show you how hell can have different definitions depending on context also, right?
This is the book of Isaiah chapter 5, and I'm starting verse 12. The harp and the viol, the tabret,
verse 11. Verse 11, people are going into captivity.
No, you want 13.
13, watch this.
This book of Isaiah chapter 5, verse 13.
Watch this.
Therefore my people,
the Israelites, go ahead,
are gone into captivity.
Are gone into captivity. So the context of this is the Israelites gone in captivity. Let me show you what it is in them, go ahead.
Because they have no knowledge.
You have no knowledge, you know.
And their honorable men are famished.
Honorable men famished. They don't know nothing, go ahead.
And their multitude dried up with thirst.
With thirst, you know.
Therefore hell.
Therefore what?
Hell.
Hell. So it's telling this captivity is hell and did what?
Hath enlarged herself.
Have enlarged herself. So basically, in that context, that hell talk about the Israelites being in captivity. Basically, like we went through right there. That was hell. You know what I'm saying? That's the hell right there we was going through. That was affliction on what you would call affliction on earth. So hell don't mean all of like mean you gonna go underground and be burning forever. But it is hell as far as the second death, which Babylon gonna be turned into when the missiles come over here. So whoever over here they don't get delivered, like the elect, and whoever don't get delivered as far as the elect and Babylon, they gonna get the second death over here. And I'm gonna show you that. Let me show you one more time in Jonah. Then you gonna give me that. Watch this.
The book of Jonah chapter 2 and verse 2. And said, I cried by reason of mine affliction.
He cried. Hey, Jonah said he cried by reason of his affliction. Go ahead.
Unto the Lord.
Unto the Lord, you know.
And he heard me out of the belly.
Out of the belly
of hell.
Out of the belly of hell. Because he had got swallowed by a big fish. So he called it affliction he was going through like, man, it's hell. Just like the nigga broke his head. I'm going through hell right now, man. You know what you gotta say?
Just like Luke 16, Lazarus.
Yeah. That's a deep one. That's basically what I'm talking about. But yeah, that's talking
about. You talking about the dude that left the dogs lick his wound or something like that?
Dog lick his wound, yeah. That's talking about basically how Esau was living it up on this side, and we was basically we was at the bottom. So now they gonna be, when they get to the bottom, that's gonna be their hell, and now we gonna be in heaven, we gonna be in our rulership. And then they gonna want mercy just because we got Abraham as a forefather. But it ain't gonna work like that. Because if it happened to us, it's gotta happen to them. Alright, let me show you the second death here. Revelation 20.
This is the book of Revelation, chapter 20, and verse 13.
20 and 13, watch this, go ahead.
And the sea gave up the dead.
And the sea gave up the dead. That's like a multitude of people. The sea, they tell you that in the second Esdras 5. The sea can be a multitude of people.
Which were in it. And death and hell.
And death and hell, go ahead.
Delivered up the dead which were in them.
Delivered up the dead that was in them. Among these people too, go ahead.
And they were judged, every man, according to their works.
Go ahead.
And death and hell.
And death and hell, go ahead.
Were cast into the lake of fire.
Were cast into the lake of fire. So with hell already a lake of fire, how is going to get casted into a lake of fire? So this talking about Babylon, everybody over here that's going to get the judgment of the second death, this lake of fire over here that's going to burn perpetually. So that's what they're talking about. Ain't nowhere in the Bible if you die, go under the earth and be burning.
Okay, so what about
That's true.
what about Satan then?
Satan?
Or is Satan just the white people?
Nah, Satan, I mean, they give me Satan apostles.
Yeah.
Give me first Corinthians. They the so-called white people, the Edomites, basically they work on the left-hand side. So they get ran by Satan.
They're not from God.
God created everything. He created evil and he created righteous. So at the end of the day, they from God, but they on the left-hand side of God. You know, Yahweh Shah, he died, now he on the right-hand side of the Most High. You know, in the Bible, you got the righteous and you got the wicked. So on the right-hand side, that means you righteous. Left-hand side is where the demons at, you know what I'm saying? So Satan ain't nothing but basically an angel that's controlled, that do what the Most High want him to do. You know what I'm saying? He don't disobey the Lord, he follow the commandments. Satan's apostle. Oh, nah, not Satan's apostle. Give me Satan's apostle. Yeah, I need my phone. Give me your blue look. Watch this. Let me show you how Satan got people he controls. 2 Corinthians 2:11. 2 Corinthians 2:11.
This is the book of 2 Corinthians. No, that's
Nah, that ain't it. That ain't it.
That's in the
That
Bible.
ain't it. It says through, what's it called? Through 13. Say the Bible. Oh, that's the beginning of 2000. Yeah, it was. Yeah, it's like Satan got a apostle.
2 Corinthians 11 and 14? Is that it?
Hey, Isaiah, what that precept is?
What y'all talking about?
Satan apostle. Oh, such a false apostle. Okay, yeah, there you go.
11 and 14?
Oh, hold on. Ministers of. Yeah, you can start right now. You good?
Yeah, it's 13 through 14.
Yeah, 13 through 14.
This is the book of 2 Corinthians, chapter 11 and verse 13. For such are false apostles,
The angels that follow his commandments. False apostles, go ahead.
deceitful workers,
Deceitful workers, go ahead.
transforming themselves
Transforming themselves, go ahead.
into the apostles of Christ.
To the apostles of Christ, go ahead.
And no marvel, for Satan himself is transformed into an angel of light.
Yes, but Satan himself is transformed into an angel of light. So that let you know through the spirit of the Lord got left-hand side angels and he got right-hand side angels. So it's wicked on earth and it's righteous on earth. So when you get the spirit of, like basically the Holy Spirit, the spirit of the Most High, you're gonna do the right thing. When you get the spirit of Satan on you, you're gonna do the wicked. So that's what the Edomites was built out to do the dead of Satan. You know what I'm saying? Do all the wickedness, all the left-hand side. They the border of wickedness. So Satan ain't nothing but an angel that work for the Most High. Just like when he tempted Job, he had to get permission from the Most High. He couldn't do nothing on his own. It's because the angels follow commandments, they not in flesh.
What was that verse again?
That was 2 Corinthians 11, 13 to 14.
What's the y'all already went to the side when they was having the council of heaven?
First Kings?
That's what I'm thinking of too.
I know.
That's what I'm thinking.
That's what I'm thinking of.
108.
108.
Yeah, it's like
103. Watch this. Psalms 103 and 20. Watch this.
The book of Psalms chapter 103, verse 20. Blessed be the Lord, yea, his angels.
Yeah, blessed be the Lord, yea, his angels. So we got, like you say, you got right hand side angels and left hand side angels. Go ahead.
That do his commandments.
That do his commandments. So Satan not gonna do nothing that the Lord don't tell him to do. You know what I'm saying? So we get the bid from the Most High. So the Edomites are controlled by the wicked left hand side, which is, you know, Satan, the angels, the angel that's over there. You know what I'm saying? So they get the bid of that. So they devils, they carry out the basically the unrighteous work. You know what I'm saying? The demon-like work. You got another question?
I have a question. So this is a personal question. I'm a barber, and I understand that as Israelite people, we're not supposed to cut our hair. What about us cutting other people's hair?
We cutting hair like
you lining them up?
Yeah, like fade, lining up, all that.
I mean, you can fade, but lining them up,
I'd be technically sinning,
you'll
correct?
be telling them, yeah, you sinning because you causing them to sin. You know what I'm saying? You lining them up. You know?
Okay.
Well, it just depends. It's a way you can line them up and it still be lawful.
that part. Because we, what was it, Oscar Walk on the Brothers Hill, like he'll actually use like scissors. It won't look like it.
Okay.
Like he look like he's using a razor, but he'll actually use scissors and
You know how to do it, yeah.
he know how to do it without
We got some brothers in New Jersey that know how to line. It look like a regular line, like with the white on there and everything.
Okay.
But they do it lawfully, you know what I'm saying? So it's a way you can do it. But I ain't saying you're gonna stop doing that overnight.
of course.
Like it's a process, you know what I'm saying?
Of course.
But you know what I'm saying? So
That was my only
just
question.
try your best, yeah. Pray about it. And just sit
He
here.
just came.
Hey, what you mean about other people's hair though? You were talking
Like
about
heathen?
Israelites just not in the
Well,
truth. We were talking about
Yeah.
other nations.
For one, Israelite people, and then two, like, of course, being a barber, you're gonna cut all these other people, and it's just like
if it's another nation, they not bound to our laws.
But he cut mostly Jake's. I seen your page, my phone. You did me today.
Yeah. No, like 2 days ago.
Okay, yeah.
I cut a lot of black people.
Yeah, so most part he cut Jake. So
Signs and everything.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't know. Just pray about that. Just pray the Lord, you know, reveal it to you more and more and give you strength. You see,
Really, he just need to call up them brothers.
Call and see how to do it. Yeah,
Who know how to, like, hey man,
figure out how to do it. You can still keep it looking on point. You know what I'm
It's
saying?
kind of tweak your method, bro.
I can kind of hit you. I can get you in contact with
I'm about to say there really could be a teaching point for you. You know what I mean? You tell me the reason why you doing it like this, you kind of start bringing folks into the knowledge. Just because that's good.
Okay. And with that, we're going to say shalom.
Shalom.